I so often use the word privileged, my privilege, in introducing to you, the LBR community, my guests. So many amazing people who have taught me so much, who continue to teach me, and who continue to make such a profound impact on my life, with the intention that you learn something and perhaps it touches you in a particular way that makes an impact on you for your good and the greater good. In this episode, I am particularly privileged to introduce to you my mom, my own unsinkable Molly Brown character in my life. And she is just that, the unsinkable Rita Ostry, my mom. Well, Mom, thanks for the privilege of being a guest on Life by Randi. I so appreciate it. You have so much wisdom to offer, and I can't wait to start this conversation. So, Mom, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, I'm a mom and I'm a survivor. I was born in the midst of the Depression in 1931, was the lowest birth rate at that time. I've seen it all. I'm just privileged to have reached 92 years of age and have seen everything, and there's still more to come.
Yeah, there's still more to come.
More to come.
Now, the Life by Randi community knows that the channel was started after my amazing recovery from stage 4 breast cancer. Now, we have to talk about that. So if you've followed my stories, my true stories, I took a lot of inspiration from my main role model in my life, my mom. My mom was diagnosed, and we laugh about it because we laugh about just about everything. It's the joy.
We laugh at everything, right?
We do. It's a family tradition, a family culture.
Or culture, right?
Right. So Mom was diagnosed with stage 3B ovarian cancer back in the mid-1980s. And if you recall, having a diagnosis of ovarian cancer at that time was a death sentence, and my mom had a death sentence. She had 6 months to live. The cancer had touched her liver and spread up through her aorta. The surgeon came out to tell me, and Mom was in her mid-50s at the time, that she had 6 months to live. And obviously, she's still here. Mom, tell us about that story.
It's a very big story, a long story. I was diagnosed in 1988 with ovarian cancer. Survival rate was 6 months. You were on your way to go to England and study at Cambridge. You said you would stay back because of my illness, and I insisted you go. You were paid, you paid up, it was all paid, you were going. I said, just leave, because I'm not dying today and I'm not dying tomorrow. So you just go.
And what an unselfish thing to do, right? And I remember it very difficult on me.
Yeah, right.
I think you said, Mom, if you can't deal with it in 2 weeks, you can come back home.
Right.
And how wonderful you gave me that gift.
Yes, it was. It was wonderful. And you said you prayed there, and I was supposed to have surgery in 30 days, exploratory surgery. I was that bad at that time. You said, you're not going to need surgery, Mom. You're not. I'm going to Cambridge anyway. We prayed for you at Cambridge, and you got the light in the word that I would be healed and not to worry about it. It was difficult to take because the doctor said I was, you're not going to make it, but my daughter said I would. And here I am today at 92.
Yes.
Edith. And you did go to Cambridge.
Study there.
And you study there. Yes, that was.
And there were prayers going out actually all over the United Kingdom for you, for the prayers at the time.
It was wonderful.
But Mom, you were living it here. And so what was that like? You said you had 6 months to live. I think you and Dad had recently divorced
Right.
after you met when you were 15 in high
15,
school.
yes, right. That's right.
Got married at 19.
Yes,
I
that's
believe.
right. Yes.
Right. And both Mom and Dad are great people and had 3, might I say, awesome children.
Yes, I would say so.
Me and my 2 older brothers, right?
Yes, right.
And all very, very close, and lots of close cousins. But you still had to believe that you weren't going to die. So you're recently divorced. You were a homemaker and went into the workforce, and now you have this death sentence,
Right.
and you didn't take it lying down. What did you do?
I just said I'm not dying. I'm not going. It's not my time. I just was stubborn. I think I might have a little stubbornness in me, but I just said I'm not
A
dying.
little.
And I remembered seeing Dr. Brandon was my surgeon, and I would go for my first month checkup. I'd go for my second month checkup, and he said, I will never poo-poo attitude again because you have that attitude. You are not going or not dying. I have patients not as bad as you that are dead today.
Wow.
And it was like I said, it's not my time. I need to live. I need to be here for my children. And it just stayed that way.
Yes.
And I never did get the surgery. And I never had any complications, never had anything. It's been like 30 years. I had got cancer in 1988, a death sentence, and here I am today at 92, sitting here again with my best friend and my daughter, Miss Randy Thomas now.
Right. And so
Yeah.
Speaking of Randy,
Oh,
how
the
did you
name.
get the name?
Oh my God.
So I was born in 1961. Now we've got all kinds of names and for children, very creative names. And there are a lot of Rickies and Nickies and
And
Sammys.
Ronnie's too.
Right. But back then it wasn't, and we were raised Polish Catholic.
Right.
So
Oh my gosh, yes. So I used to watch Jack Parr. Now, today no one even knows of Jack Parr because Jimmy Carson took his place after. But
Johnny.
he had, Johnny Carson took his place after. But I watched, Jack Parr, right? And he had a daughter named Randy, but it was Randy. But I was so intrigued with that name. He always talked about Randy, and Randy did this, and Randy did that, and even people would write in or call him and say, why did you name your daughter Randy? And he said, I don't know. You can just ask her mother George. And I thought that was it. Well,
I think she was a lawyer too, wasn't
yeah,
she?
and then Randy became an attorney. But and then Dr. Brandon, when she was born, I was going to name, in a hospital, they give you the birth certificate.
Okay, wait, we have to cut that out. Dr. Casero.
Oh, Dr. Casero, not Brandon.
So we're going to cut this out and say when we went to baptize her.
Yeah, we went to baptize her, and I thought, we went to baptize her, and I thought everything was all fine. She was going to be Rita Ostry. Well, the priest comes down. We were in the vestibule. Grandparents, godparents, we're all there. And he said, I'm sorry, we can't baptize your daughter, Randy. That's not a saint's name. So we thought, oh my God, what do we do? You know, it was going to be Randy or Sandy. I decided on Sandy. Randy. So
Okay, start again to say I decided on Randy.
I decided on Randy. And I decided on Randy. And so then the priest said, well, if you give her a second name that's a saint. So I said, well, okay, what do we do? Okay, Randy sounds good. Okay, Marie. Randy Marie. And that's what it became. And we went down the aisle.
So they let me slide in.
They made you slide in. Otherwise, you were out.
Goodness.
Oh my gosh. So
well, and I've loved my name.
yeah, and then there was another thing. I had a family member that would tell my mother, "Why did your daughter name her only daughter, Randy. It's a boy's name. She has two boys already, Eddie and Ronnie. And why did she name her? Well, I was so upset about it that at that time, we had Ann Landers in the column. I actually penned a letter to Ann Landers saying that my daughter's 3 months old. I can still call her something else, change her name, because I don't want her to be embarrassed by her name when she grows up. So I get a letter back, penned. I still have it to this day in a frame that's from Ann Landers that says, I think Randy is a beautiful name and it's not going to embarrass her in the future. Right. And it was like, sign Ann Landers. Yeah. And then I thought, as long as Ann Landers said it was okay, it was okay with us.
I was good to go.
And here she is.
And I've been embarrassed by some things, but not my name
Randy. Yeah.
Well, so that unsinkable spirit that you had has always really been with you. You have been this steady force in all of our lives, and your sense of humor is infectious. And we do laugh about things, of course, inappropriate things. Who doesn't laugh in church or, in a dentist's office while I'm getting braces and we both get into laughing fits. So, but more than that, during really times of trauma. So we fast forward to the crazy year of 2020, where my mom has an amazing instinct. So I'm the scholarly, learned one, and with a good instinct myself. Mom just has this amazing gut instinct, and I'll tell you, it's never been wrong. And so we really match up on the instinct. So when the world was shutting down, beginning with Ohio in March of 2020, we knew there was something very ominous going on, and you could hear a pin drop out in the world. It was very, very odd. So Mom and I were in complete sync on that, but there was this darkness that was coming in, and Mom and I have lived together for many years. I can't remember. You sold the family home many years ago. We wanted you with us because she's that much fun, and she's an amazing cook, and who doesn't want to have her around after you retired in your early 70s. And so we have that special bond and have a lot of fun together, always have, but always have a kind of extrasensory communication as well. And there was a time in the fall of 2020 that EJ and we were all together for my brother's birthday, JR's birthday in November. And our lake house is just about an hour and change away from where we used to live. And for some reason, EJ and I decided to come to the lake house that night. And I always have my phone with me. And this time I didn't have my phone with me at my bedside. And I got that call that every child of an aging parent alone dreads. Well, Mom was having a stroke and reached out to me, and I didn't get the phone call. And I got this awful voicemail of you having a stroke. And fortunately, you were able to be strong enough. Anyway, you can take it from there.
And I did. I was strong enough. I knew something was wrong. I had this very heavy dizziness. I made it to the kitchen table, put my head down on the table, was intelligent enough to call 911. The garage door
after your daughter didn't pick up.
Yeah, the garage door was closed, but it was like right next. The opening was right next. So I scooched the chair over to the door because the 911 said we're here, but the garage door is closed. So I said just a minute. So I put my arm out and opened the garage door. And then the police came in, and then he asked me questions, and who else is who could call. So I called my son Edward, and Edward came over, and we had the dog, and the dog said nothing, but that started the whole entire thing. This was, his birthday was November 13th, and this was Monday the 16th. And then I was rushed to Euclid Hospital. They diagnosed me with pneumonia and nothing else. And it wasn't until I had an MRI on Tuesday that they knew I had a stroke. And the stroke was so bad that I lost my vertigo. I was so dizzy. And this was Monday. My daughter Randy would come to visit me, knowing that she had impending problems at that time. And you came to visit me, and I was released on Friday that week.
Right.
And
so I'm taking care of Mom, and I'm like, okay, here we go, Mom. I'm going to help you shower. I'm going to. Mom had a walker. So a week after, I'm diagnosed with breast cancer and the cascading effects of that, or the cascading effects of the spread of that. And I was very sick. I thought, oh gosh, that's the dread I did not want to tell you.
Right.
So what a pair we made. And Mom, at that point, so I sit down and tell you, Mom, I'm very sick and what I have. And you said, oh, you're going to be okay. And you decided then to kick your walker to the side, right?
Yes, I did. I remember coming down with the walker because you said, do not get in the shower, Mom. I will stand there while you get in that shower. I don't want you to be falling down. So I thought, okay, well, then I heard the word cancer, and Randy said, Mom, I am very sick. And I thought, okay, this is it. Kick this walker aside. I really got in the shower by myself, showered my hair, and it all started from there. And I just had that feeling. I was very upset, I think Randy didn't think I was upset at the time, because at one time about a month later, she knew that I had the stroke and said, Mom, do you know, because we were so close, Mom, do you know who I am? I'm Randy. And I said, yeah, I know. Like, what do you think, I'm nuts? It's like, I'm not. She said, do you know that I have cancer? I said, yeah, I know. And you know all this? You're not upset? I said, no, I know. If anything, you're going to beat it, because I did it. And I think, and of course, I was really upset, because I thought, what happens now if she goes and I'm still here? It's like, but I wouldn't let you know that I felt that way, and you didn't think I thought about you. It's like, Mom, you know who I am? Yeah, I know who you are.
Actually, it's the first time I'm hearing that you were that
I know,
upset.
And I was very upset. I had to take those sleeping pills, and Valium, something like that. Yeah, I thought, I was giving.
Mom, there's such a gift in that of you didn't show me how upset you were, and EJ didn't show me how upset he was. And I'm sure there is, because that's human nature.
It is human nature to be upset.
And my brothers and my sisters-in-law, and what a blessing, because I didn't want to be pitied, and I didn't want sympathy. I wanted you to believe in me that I was going to live and make it out of this jam I was in. And I knew that I was dying. And it's an odd feeling, because the way our family does things is, well, you're not dead yet, right?
Right.
And
it's not today.
That's what, right. And that is my mom's younger brother and our favorite Uncle Joey, who's since passed on. When Mom had her cancer bout, my Uncle Joey said, Rita, well, don't be that upset. I mean, you're not dying today.
I'm not dying today.
Right.
Which and it made me laugh and made me think, I am not dying today. I still had time.
Right. And that's how I felt. And I said to EJ and my family, other family, is, if I have 6 months, if I have 1 year, I don't want to be miserable the whole time. Well, but I was sick with the broken ribs and I couldn't move. And so that made it difficult. But I still had my mind and my emotions. And I thought, gosh, if this is how it ends for me. I don't want to be depressed the whole time, and I don't want depressed people around me. And you all were marvelous.
And then we didn't
And
want
how
to depress you. We didn't want you to feel bad because you were ill. We wanted to act like it was really nothing. You'll just get over, just hoping that you would get over it.
And I did.
And you did.
I was. See, but the power of that.
Yeah.
And I recall the week of Thanksgiving 2020, I was beginning the diagnosis because there's all these tests and you have to go through and wait for the tests, and it's this long, brutal, excruciating, probably 3 weeks long process. But we were hosting Thanksgiving for the family. And my family starts coming in, and I can hear them coming in, and it's somber, of course. It was a day after I found out I had breast cancer and that it was bad. And I said, bring out the Bloody Marys and play some music. I'm not dead yet, right? And everybody did.
And it was.
And because that's the spirit. That's the conquering spirit, though. We're not dead yet. We're all going to go.
I can remember that time, too. You at the head of the table. It's like saying that. And it made us all feel good because you were laughing. And it was just nothing. It'll be taken care of.
There were times when I'd come out when I couldn't sleep at night and come to my mom's private quarters and say, Mom, am I really going to be okay? Do you think so? You say, oh yeah, you'll be fine. Like, Mom, but you had a stroke. Do you know who I am?
I'm Randy. You said, I'm Randy. I said, I know who you are. You said, I thought, well, maybe your mind is gone. I said, no, I know.
But nobody treated me like I was right, which was great.
Yeah.
And that helped me with the mindset to overcome it. And that is what is so special about our family. One of the things that's special about our family. And I'm talking cousins, aunts, and uncles, overcomers.
All the same, yes, we are, yes.
Just a beautiful, strong, warm, Polish family.
Right.
Yes. And I'm sure other families, not being Polish, are beautiful and wonderful as well.
No.
But the Polish culture and the Poles have some strong backbones when you go back to the Solidarity movement and bucking the USSR, and that strong backbone and entrenched in faith with a love for music and dance and laughter and love and joy, that I am so blessed and privileged to be a part of the family and having a role model like you, because you and Dad were the role models along with our aunts and uncles. It's our family culture.
Yes, it was. It is. Yes.
And so Mom, you're 92.
Yes.
And you sailed through your stroke, and we found out that wasn't your first stroke, but it was a major brain stroke.
Yes, I had, after the MRI, they said, you've had many strokes. I thought, oh my gosh. And then I would think back when times have passed out. So those were the little TMIs.
So how have you stayed so strong and unwavering? Because you find delight in the small things of life. You don't overthink things. And you certainly don't take things personally. You've got this real strong sense of who you are. You've always been that way.
Yes, I think I have been. Things bother me for a while, and not everyone likes you. Find out not everyone likes you, and so you go on with life. But you find out you always have detractors in life, and you just go ahead. And I never thought I was better than anyone else. I was always just down to earth and common, and a commoner and a common thinking. And I thought I raised the children that way too, just to not take everything to heart. Just let a lot of things roll off your back. Everyone's not going to like you, and you just go ahead, be a hard worker, play hard, and work hard, play hard. hard.
Yeah.
And I always taught that to the kids. And I think to this day, they always blame me for them wanting to dance and have a good time. And we do polkas, and we always had time for fun.
Yes,
And we did. And always,
it's true.
and they say you should laugh a day. I think with you and I, we would just laugh all the time. It's supposed to be so good for the soul.
Yes,
It is.
It
We
is.
Yes. We always find something to laugh about.
that's true. Daily.
Daily, yes, I know.
Mom, and what a beautiful, wonderful legacy and example that we were raised with, and then we get to continue to enjoy.
Yes.
Me at 61 and you at 90.
92. I can't even believe I made it to 92.
Right.
Yes.
And that you're still with it,
Right.
and you're still enjoying life. Mom fasts 72 hours at a time because it's so good and healthy for you.
Right.
She's amazing.
Yeah, right. I just don't eat for 3 days, and I just love life. I always loved fashion too.
Yes.
Everything, my house was always beautiful, but I worked at it. I didn't expect someone else to do it. And I told Randy, I was never a craft person. I never liked to do a little small object. I wouldn't mind taking a whole room and rip it apart and do the woodwork and the walls and the ceiling. And I got more satisfaction. And I did. I would do that all the time. It's like, but don't give me a little crafty work.
Right.
I didn't like crafty work.
Antiquing woodwork and
my
beautiful
God.
landscaped architect.
I love doing outside and cutting the grass and planting the flowers. It's like I always had something to do. I really did.
You sewed your own clothes.
Right. I was a sewer. I was a good cook. I made
yes.
food wonderfully. It's like
Beautiful meals every single day, and on Saturdays, and on
Yeah.
Sundays. And so I have the love of that, of the
And you
cooking
do,
and
yes.
making the meals, putting it together beautifully, caring for the family,
Yes.
making the holidays and the
Oh,
hospitalities.
yes. To make
Right?
the best out of birthdays, holidays, weddings, showers. Always. It's
Yes,
just sort of
yes.
always.
And we were raised that way by Grandma Victoria,
Yes.
where we were taught that when you have a guest in your home, and even when you can't afford it for yourself, you buy the choice cut of meat or
Yes.
beef. You serve the best scotch or wine.
Yes, right.
Right? Because it's guests in your home.
Always, I remember my mother always had to have butter. It's like the guests got real butter. You didn't have margarine.
Yeah.
It's like the guests got the best.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was just,
And
we were brought up that way.
And that's very giving and very hospitable. And so we celebrate everything. And we always have.
Yes. We do. We do.
And every day is a celebration. And when you keep recovering from cancers and strokes, and you come to the brink and you come back and you come to the brink.
Right. How
There's
many
even
times
more-
can you come back, too? It's like,
Right.
right. I said, I can't believe that I'm 92 and I still feel young. And I used to love to dance the
Yes.
polkas, and I just want to dance so bad, and I can't understand why I can't dance or even walk. I lose my balance a little bit, so I do have to have a trusty cane on my side. But for the most part, being brought up in the worst part of the Depression, I saw so much at the house, and we brought guests and people who slept over, and it was just natural. And that's why I'm so giving. You just want to give,
Yeah,
because
you are
my
very giving.
parents were like that. They gave to the people and who didn't have anything, and
Beautiful.
they're always.
Yeah, Mom, what was that like? You would tell us when Grandma and Grandpa would take in a stranger for the evening and give them a hot bowl of soup and share the bread and just share whatever it is that they had. And you all weren't
We
living.
didn't have much either, right? Right,
Right.
and we didn't, but they'd come to the door, and my mother said, well, I could give you a sandwich and a cup of coffee, and they would sit in the hall on the steps, and have their coffee, and then they would just thank you and go on their way. But it was so common. And then we had an uncle that walked everywhere, and he brought us Ward Bakery was at the time down like near downtown, and he'd bring us a big bag of samples of goodies and stuff, that was returned. And but my father would sole his shoes because his shoes would be all worn out, and my father would get the leather from the shop where he worked, from the machines, the leather belts, and he would sole his brother's shoes. It was just an amazing time how you didn't have it, but you gave what you have. And I can remember people sleeping in our kitchen. It was a big kitchen at the time. It would be a day bed there. And maybe they would take somebody in for a week or 2 weeks and give them a chance and find a job nearby. But I lived that way. It was just, I'm so blessed that I am 92. And I can say I saw it all. It's just wonderful. It was a great life. And you felt humble. You were never better than anyone else. They just were a little worse off than you were. And it's like, wow. Wonderful.
And you are so giving, and always have been. And you would give the shirt off your back for anyone, your children, beginning with your children. And Mom would, spoils me with beautiful rings and doesn't buy them for herself. And you always did. And when I went away to college, I was the best dressed because I've got her Diane von Furstenberg wrapped dresses.
She got all the clothes, all the jewelry. And I thought, I don't need it. I have a daughter. Let her have it all. And it's
yes. And you're still that way. So giving and so loving, and really God continues to bless you because you can't outgive God, so it just keeps coming back.
It does.
Right?
Yes, really. Because I am blessed, I can say. And just being here with you and EJ, I'm always taken care of. And just, we had wherever I lived with Randy, high-end places too, like nothing. It was just wonderful.
Yeah,
and
you deserve it, Mother.
And then but anyway, we laugh about everything, and it makes it light and okay. And
so, Mom, as we wrap up, what would you say are some of your cherished memories or greatest satisfactions in your life? What has made you the happiest in your life?
I would say probably getting married made me happy, and then having my children, and
especially your daughter.
Especially my daughter.
Sorry, J.R. and Ron. Just kidding.
Yeah, and I'm not that kind of person that is real happy with things. I'm satisfied. I think I'm satisfied with my life. I just can't say, I can't go overboard and say I'm so happy or joyous, but I would say I had a very satisfactory life, more than I would think I deserved, because everything is just relative, and it is what it is too. You take the good with the bad, and I had the cancer, and then I got okay, and you got the cancer, and then I have the children, and everybody has something. I never had really too much problem with the children anyway.
Yeah,
though. No,
we're good kids.
You are good kids, really. They never had a lot, going.
And we always knew and enjoyed your loyalty to us.
Yes, and I always was when
loyalty.
They say you're going to say have your back, but I did. It's just
Yes.
if you weren't going to goof around with my kids, it's
Yes.
that's what I say. I think I got more than I deserve. I was never I never felt better than anyone else, ever. I just, go on with life the way it is and work hard, play hard.
Play hard. You don't play hard
Oh,
anymore,
we
Mom.
did played hard. Went to love fashion. Went to the best restaurants, and always.
And then you taught me
And
fashion.
then, and taught you fashion.
The date nights before date nights, because we would, on Saturdays, Dad would take you and I out,
right?
And I got to share in wearing the nice clothes and the jewelry, and be taken out to the finest restaurants in Cleveland, which was an amazing restaurant scene.
Yes,
the budding restaurant scene in Cleveland in the 70s.
Yeah, it was.
The Silver Quill, Swingo's Keg and
Quarter,
the Blue
right.
Fox.
Yeah.
And so I got to experience the finer things in life, how to be treated by a man,
right?
What date night looks like, what it looks like to enjoy the finer things in life, not thinking you're better than anyone, but spicing up the life and having these special moments. Gotta say, the yoga pants and ponytails and the lack of fashion and the lack of sophistication it grieves me, because there's an elegance that's gone.
Right.
But I'm a holdout.
We like the old school still. We still do. Yep.
Yes.
Get dressed up to the nines, and makes you feel better.
It
too.
does.
It really does when you get all.
Because we're the directors and the producers and the writers and the actors in our own lives. So why not live it up?
Right.
We get to do that, right?
Yes, we do what we want to too.
Yeah.
It's our life.
Yeah. And you have a good life, you have had a good life, but Mom, you are reaping what you sow, because you have sown so much good. You have never wished anyone ill. You have never done anyone wrong. And anyone that knows you knows that you are true blue to your core. There's nothing phony about you. And you have raised us so well, and you created such an amazing, wonderful environment along with Dad to incubate us all, the kids, my brothers and I, to be the humans we are, and to be the survivors we all are, and to never let life's hardships wear too much on our souls that we have become bitter or malicious in any sense. We've never allowed that to happen, and thanks to you, and thanks to Dad.
Wow, thank you. Wow, because it's all so true though. It's like, don't get in your own way. You have to just step back and just, be a good human being, and then good things follow. I can see it now. So at 92, it's like I still want to get out there and dance, and I can't. I have to dance with the broom. But
you danced. I saw you dance at the last family function.
Yeah, right.
Well, I hope you're dancing well into going to Stola.
We're hoping for Stola.
We're hoping for Stola.
Yes, very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom, for everything. I love you.
And I love you too. Yes, thank you. Thank you for my wonderful life.
And happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pod nóżkami rośnie trawka, zieleni się słonkiem.